Alright, this is the second part of the video on how to make this model for Chapter 10, Exercise number 2. So we're going to build this kind of fin feature, rib feature right up top here, and the fillets and the holes and all the rest of the stuff. So what we're going to do is start with some construction lines with this geometry of 90, 165, and make this radius 60 arc, and let's get started. We'll go from there. So I'm going to start a sketch, and I'm going to draw mine in the front plane, which is, to me, the super easy way to do this part. So I'll go normal to, and just look at the side view. So I'm going to start with a few construction lines from this corner, and I'll just go vertical, and I'll go horizontal, and I'll make another vertical one here. So let's dimension these guys, and make it 90, and 165, and I don't need to dimension this one. I can if I want to, but it's not entirely necessary. So let's make a line off of this corner here, and it doesn't matter the length or the angle of it because we will use the arc or the part of the circle to place this guy. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to select a perimeter circle, and I'm going to click on this line when that yellow tangent indicator pops up, like so. And then I'm going to go up here and highlight this guy, and it should have that yellow tangent indicator. And now the circle's on the wrong side, but that's okay because as I go and drop my mouse below it, it will be in the right spot. So now I can just click anywhere, and there's my circle. All right, now what I'm going to do is trim off the edges of the arc that I don't necessarily need. And I'll stretch this guy out a little bit, like so. And I'll trim off the edges of the circle that I don't necessarily need, like so. Right? Now I'll smart dimension this arc, and I'll make it radius 60, like it says to do. And now what I'm going to do is drag this end up to the intersection of these points right here. And it may give me a little error message like that. An automatic relation is inferred by this operation will overdefine the sketch. They will not be added, which is just fine. Basically, it's removing some of the relations just to make things easier on itself. So it's in an intersection. Now, I'm going to trim off the edge of this guy. Not necessary, but I just like to. And now if I zoom in really, really close here, I have some extra line here, which I will trim off, like so. Now these match up nicely. Again, not entirely. Well, that is partly necessary, but for a good clean sketch, but it probably would do just fine without it. So now if I exit the sketch and I go into features and extruded boss and base, you will see that especially when I extrude and boss base, and then when I select this sketch, I only have the thin feature available. I can't uncheck that because I haven't drawn the other part of the contour that runs along the outside of this and the bottom of this, and I will show you what I mean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in and edit the sketch here, and I can either draw lines on here like so and just make it vertical, or I'm sorry, horizontal out to here, or I can make it simple and I can select the edge of this and I can hit convert entities, and now I have a line right through here. And I'll do the same up here, and I'll convert that entity, and I will trim off the extra right there. Now I need to make this arc. So if I select the outer edge of this, it'll work. But to make it perfect, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on sketch number 2, which is this guy, if we remember from the beginning, and I'm going to click show. Now I'm going to select this line right here because it connects to those points, and I'm just going to hit convert entities, and now I have my enclosed contour. So what I should be able to do, because I'm still editing sketch 9 in this case, I've made a few sketches and made a few errors, so I'm all the way up to sketch 9. I should be able to right click and hit expand the menu and hit contour select and select everything in here, and this should highlight red or orange or green or whatever the hell it shows on your computer. But once I do that, I select it, and now I can go extruded boss and base, and now you see that the thin feature is not selected. All right. Now, if I go and zoom in on accident, now if I go up and do a blind direction, that's not helpful unless I want to go 2 directions, which I can do, or I can just go mid-plane and set the depth to 10 millimeters because that's what it says right here. Yeah. So then I hit OK, and now I have my rib feature, like that, or fin, or whatever you want to call it, like so. Now, this sketch is kind of bothering me, so I'm just going to click hide and put it away. And I'll hide this guy too. Now I have my model. So now we're going to add in these holes. Now there's a ton of ways to do this, but I'm just going to do it what I think is the simplest way, and I'm going to start by making one hole and then patterning the features. And so this is a 10 millimeter hole, or a 10 millimeter distance from the edge and a 10 millimeter distance from the other edge. So it's 10 by 10. So what I'm going to do is make a sketch, and I'm going to make just a regular circle, and I'm going to make it up here, and I'm going to start my circle here, and I will go Control 5 to look down at the top. And it's 4 of them with a 7 diameter, so I will smart dimension this guy to 7 millimeters, and I will go from the center to here, and I will make that 10 millimeters, and from the center, smart dimension from the center to there, and I'll make that 10 millimeters, like so. And then I will exit the sketch, and I will go up to features, and I will extrude the cut, zoom in on accident, and I won't use a blind condition. I'm just going to use up to next, and that will just go down to the next surface down there, right? So I hit OK. Now I have my extruded cut, just like so. And I like to do a linear pattern on the feature as opposed to the sketch, just because it makes it a little easier in my mind. So now what I'm going to do is go down and select my features to pattern, and select this cut extrude right here. And now I'm going to select my direction, and we will go along this edge, so it'll go in the same direction as this edge, and I'm going to switch the direction so that it goes correctly. Now looking at the dimensions, it's 25 between them in this way and 30 this way. So I'm going to set my direction to along this edge, like so, and I'm actually going to switch the direction, and I will change this to 25, and I will change this to 30, and hit OK. Done. Now looking at the top again, we will do another sketch, and I'll make a circle on this plane, and draw that. Now looking at this, it's 4 by 10, 4 by diameter 10, so I'll make this dimension 10 millimeters, and it is 25 off of this end and 10 off the bottom. I drew it on the above, so I can do it that way, or I'll just match my sketch like so, and like so. Oops, 25, not 205, like so. And then I hit OK, exit the sketch. Now I can go features, extruded cut, and I will go up to next, and hit OK, right there. So now I'm going to do a linear pattern, and it says features and faces to pattern. I will open this menu up, or I can select the feature like so. Same thing. Now direction 1 along this edge, and I'll switch the direction, and this spacing is 50 millimeters, and the other spacing is 55 millimeters, right there. So direction 2 will go along this edge, and I'll switch the direction, and this is 55, and this is 50. Hit OK, hit OK. Right. Now the last thing to do is add some fillets along the edges. So now I have 4 times radius 5 and 2 times radius 10 here. And that should do it. So I will go up to my fillet tool and items to fillet. Just select that, 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 and that, and it should be correct at 5. Hit OK, and I'll do another fillet, and I'll change the dimensions to 10, and I will click on that, and click on that. Hit OK, and my model's done. Matches. All right, thanks for watching, and hopefully you guys don't have any trouble with this.